So I'm feeling a little conflicted this morning. I have an impulse to talk a little bit, but I also notice that there's some anxiety and I'm feeling shy. I don't want to sound stupid. It's all been said before. So there's definitely some self-judgment and self-criticism in the mix. I'm going to forge ahead and see what happens. Um, I recently wrote a short essay entitled "The Mechanism." I'm going to post a link to this essay in the description field below the video. It's about a 6-minute read, and so I invite you to pause the video and read the essay, because I'm going to talk about I'm going to say some things that kind of follow after the end of the essay. Briefly, I refer to myself as the mechanism. I used to call myself the body-mind or the body-mind being, but I changed to the mechanism because I like the term. It recognizes how little I really know about what's going on inside of here. Where the motivations to act come from, how consciousness intermingles with brain function and biochemistry and bioelectricity, and how diet and exercise and all kinds of other things affect the workings of the mechanism. So I like the term because it puts a lot of room for discovery into the notion of who I am. And I recently expanded the term because we all know that we're all interconnected on some level, and anybody who's been doing the spiritual work knows that on some level we're all one. And part of what the essay is about is expanding the definition of the term mechanism. When you look at the flow of oxygen, the flow of carbon dioxide in and out of the body, when you look at the flow of carbon atoms from the farm to the factory, to food, to Prahas eating the food, and then the ways in which the carbon enters into the body, right? There's this flow. There's this flow of atoms in and out of the locality, which we call the mechanism, named Prahas. So it's this really kind of physical way of talking about interconnectedness. And then you add in thought forms and the soup of thoughts, and chi energy and the soup of energy. And it becomes pretty obvious that separation disappears in many, many ways. So I came to this conclusion that the mechanism is in fact the universe. That when you really trace it all the way out, the mechanism, which I call myself, is in fact the universe. And this is what Al-Mansur discovered when he yelled, "I am God," right? It's this recognition that there's no separation, right? So that's beautiful, and it's expanded, and it's a wonderful thing to recognize. And then I need to come back to the locality of Prahas, right? There's something about the locality here, And I can talk about it in terms of the ability to act, right? The local actor, right? So there's something inside the mechanism that can decide that I'm going to move my hands in a particular way or move my body. And that's the local actor, right? And I can try to make a tractor move in Nebraska, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to do that, right? And so in a way, you can divide the world up into two sets. The one set is the set of things that the actor named Prahas can effect clearly and directly. And then the other set of things is the things that I cannot effect. And that creates a kind of a separation, right? I mean, there's the things that I can act on and the things I cannot act on. You know, there's some gray areas, and certainly in some spiritual circles, there can be some interesting dialogues about the edges of that. But I think it's a reasonable thing to look at. So this morning, I was thinking about the choices that different actors make, right? So there's like this doctor who, I forgot his name, the doctor from Doctors Without Borders, right? Who just spent his whole life basically going into countries with wars going on and basically doing meatball surgery on many people, saving people's lives, right? And then there's somebody else like Bernie Madoff who created this financial scheme to steal a bunch of people's money, right? That's what he did. And so each actor, even though there's no separation, even though there's just a flow of atoms and just a flow of thoughts and energies, and there's no I anywhere, on the other hand, there is individual actors making choices. And so it's kind of a weird paradox. But one thing that I can say about it is that we are connected enough such that another person's choices affect me. Right? Like if there's a person who has a lot of rage inside of them and they come into my room and they start communicating with me, that rage may be expressed through their words, through their energy, through their emotion, and I'm going to be feeling that rage. That rage is going to be affecting my system. I'm empathetic, and I feel that. I don't think that that's a difficult concept, and I think probably a lot of people have experienced that. So that person's life choices and that person's experiences and the ways in which that person has reacted and responded to their life immediately impacts me. Because we're interconnected. Because certainly if they're in my room, there's no separation on an energetic or verbal level. So I think there's this recognition that needs to happen that has to do with individuals taking responsibility. Like I want to clean up my own house, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I want to clean up my own house, not just for me because I feel lighter and more blissful and more empty and more peaceful, but also because I recognize that my sheer existence impacts other people because we're all connected. When I walk through the supermarket, I'm impacting other people. And interestingly, the pandemic is bringing that to the forefront, right? I mean, when I exhale, other people inhale what I've exhaled. This is one of the examples I use in the essay, right? When I exhale, other people inhale what I exhale. And so, I feel like I need to wear a mask. I need to take responsibility for the possibility that I have COVID. I have not been tested, but I may have it. Um, and so this this principle of taking responsibility for cleaning up my own house, um, I think is a valuable life principle, and I am inviting the people who come into contact with me to consider it. Like, oh, maybe I want to take responsibility for cleaning up my house. Um, and the Buddha, paraphrasing, said, I've reached enlightenment, but I'm going to stand here on the threshold and I'm going to wait until all sentient beings become enlightened also, before I kind of head over and disappear into nothingness, right? Like, there's this kind of compassion, and the Buddha chose to teach, right? He hung up his shingle and he said, I'll teach you how to become enlightened. I'll teach you how to clean up your own house. Do you want to learn that? Do you want to sign up? And he invited people. Osho always had great food. He had wonderful restaurants, and there were all of these beautiful people, men and women, these beautiful people around Osho. And so somebody walking by would see this wonderful food and smell the wonderful food and say, I want some of that. And then see this beautiful man or this beautiful woman say, ooh, I'd like to sit next to them while I eat this wonderful food, right? Like there were these kind of seductions, like, come on in, the water is fine, and then maybe you'll learn something about cleaning up your own house, because we're all interconnected. And it's not my mechanism or your mechanism. It's not my body mind or your body mind. The mechanism is the universe. We are all one. So have a look at the essay and drop a comment, and let me know what you're thinking about. And lots of love, and enjoy the day.